Kim, why don't you tell me while you're meeting this guy, David? Yeah, come on.
Can he leave, please?
My fiance of 7 years is cheating on me.
Okay, so obviously she's not with you. So I think you should leave.
Sir, we sleep in the same bed every night. So tell me she's not with me.
Well, nothing's happening here, so you should leave.
So
I understand what you're saying, but
I don't think you do. I've been with this woman 10 years. Yeah, we've had our ups and downs. And now this gentleman's here at a motel saying they're just going to dinner? I don't think so.
But you should leave. You're not staying here. Excuse me? Respectively.
He had popped up at my house and I was out with somebody else. And as the guy was dropping me off to my house, he was pulling up. So
what, you was cheating?
I was cheating. Growth, okay? Growth.
Oh
Growth.
God.
As I was getting dropped off, he was pulling up. So now, and the guy was white and he like sped off real fast because he was scared, right?
That's how the white boys be.
Reparations. So as we kept going,
Hold on, wait, white is reparations for black women? Are you saying that?
Yes, I am saying it.
All right.
My baby daddy white.
That's the name of this episode, y'all. White is reparations for black women. She said it not
Can
dead.
I say why though? All my bills was paid. I wasn't arguing with nobody.
I was about to say,
getting taken out for trips.
because you know they've been giving slaves white on the low. You know that, right?
Oh my God, no!
She was being him.
Benefits.
She was being him.
She was for real.
She was whipping him.
Come on.
Did you whip him?
I didn't whip him.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would have gave you.
him, though.
I would have get.
What?
That was reparations. That's what...
Reparations.
Oh, wait, y'all. I think y'all breezed by what she just said.
What she say?
She just said the white man that she was in a relationship with, that she put on a fig and f***ed him in the ass. That's what she just said.
Hold on.
I actually used the word pegged. It sounds better when you say peg.
He just pegged my ass. He wanna switch.
Now you pegging his ass.
I told you.
Nah, I really messed up, y'all. I've been talking to this dude the last couple weeks and we've been doing so good. He was paying me mad attention. He was actually interesting to talk to and he was sending me lunch money. So we would send each other miscellaneous things throughout the day, photos, memes, you know, stuff you send to somebody when you speaking to them all day. So he sent me a picture of him at work and he say, "What you doing?" So that mean I'm supposed to send him a picture back. Now, y'all know I'm committed to rebuilding my roster right now. So I had just texted another dude a picture. So I just opened up my photo album, sent the last picture, and I ain't really think too much about it. He texted me right back, like, "Are you dead ass?" And that made me immediately go check my photo album. So this other dude I was talking to had sent me an unsolicited schlong picture, and I had screenshotted it and sent it to the group chat for a little hee hee ha ha. Why was I moving too fast and sent this man that picture? So my goofy ass tried to laugh it off like, "Ha ha, my bad." He wasn't jacking it though. Now I'm blocked and I gotta be more careful.
Today is day 1 of getting railed by 365 people in 365 days. So I'm starting off pretty vanilla. Today I am catching up with one of my old regulars who I haven't seen in like 9 months. So it has been a while. We haven't really planned what we're gonna do. All I know is he's taking me out for dinner and then I guess I'm going back to his and we'll have some fun. I'm honestly hoping for a cream pie, but we'll see what happens.
This might be dramatic. I'm not saying that it's not. Is anyone else just tired of dating? I literally just sat in my car for 20 minutes crying because I'm so tired of pointless conversations and meaningless interactions with people that go absolutely nowhere. And by the way, no one has hurt my feelings. Nothing has happened to trigger this except for me just realizing, like, what is the point? Truly. Like, no one dates with intention and actually wants anything serious, and it's just like constant disappointment, and I'm just tired of having that negative energy in my life. But I also feel like I'm getting older and it's like I have to put some effort into dating or I'm just gonna be alone forever. But now I'm just honestly getting to a point where I'm just gonna be the single aunt, and I think I'm okay with that.
I tried to tell y'all.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
There's no plan B, it's plan A. There's nothing wrong with being unmarried, happy, and independent.
Men are the majority of victims of public sphere violence.
I'm not saying that any of those statistics or male suicide, any of that stuff exists, because it does. Men are the victims of more workplace violence, workplace suicides, low enrollment rates. That said, that's not systematic oppression in society.
Really? I think that when a 6-year-old girl can hit another child and get away with it and never ever have to suffer retaliation because he's a boy, okay? I think that's systematic. How? Because if the system intervenes and punishes the boy for hitting back, right? It's systematic.
Because we hear the same argument. What, you're saying that it should be okay to hit women? Nobody should be hitting anybody in the first place. Hit back. You can hit back. You shouldn't
it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
What?
Why does feminism say it's okay to hit a man?
Feminism does not say that it's okay to hit
Okay.
a man.
Thank you for the questions. Okay,
A world where more and more men are single because women do not want to date them is a world that's very dangerous for women, which is why I worry about retaliation in reaction to the rise of single men. We actually have data from this year that shows young women are way less interested in dating than young men are. And we have data to show that more women than men are single because they simply cannot find someone they are interested in dating. 38% of single American women say the main reason they're not dating is they can't find someone that meets their expectations, compared to only 23% of men say the same thing. College-educated women are the group most likely to say they are single because they can't find someone that meets their expectation, 45%. And I can hear the men in my comments now saying, see, it's women's fault. They have too high of expectation and that's why everyone is single and lonely. But let me remind you that women have always entered into marriages with the expectation that it is going to materially improve their lives. We needed husbands for financial security. We needed them for bank accounts, for credit cards, to have a house to live in. And now women are doing better than men. We are more educated. We are stable on our own. And women who are independent and self-sustaining do not need to get married. When you don't financially need a husband or a partner, you can say, I'm not going to get a partner until I find one that's emotionally supportive, emotionally intelligent, doesn't need me to be his therapist and his mom, doesn't need me to do all the childcare, all the housework. And men will tell you, they do in my comments every single day, that these expectations are just simply too much. I fear for escalating retaliation that this will cause interpersonally between men and women, and also in legislative and policy decisions, like the push to get rid of no-fault divorce, in the rolling back of reproductive rights, and with things like student debt and college affordability. They're not going to make college more affordable when more women going to college results in higher expectations of the men that want to date us. So yeah, that's why I worry about retaliation of men who cannot make it worth it for women to want to date and marry them.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
How long have you been single?
I got dumped on Valentine's Day, so about 2 days.
How long were you with him?
6 months.
Why do you think he dumped you?
He said he was too busy, but the day after he dumped me, he showed up to the bar I go to regularly with another bitch, so I don't really think he was too busy.
So you think he was cheating on you in the relationship?
No, I just think he wanted to fuck other bitches, so he dumped me and then went out with other girls.
But what do you think is better, doing that or going behind your back?
I think it's better that he did that than going behind my back, because if he went behind my back, I would have been violent. Oh.
So I'm currently doing the lit review for my PhD, and I'm studying feminism, misogyny, and networked activism. And so I'm having to kind of think a lot about the work that I do on TikTok and my own feminist beliefs and what I think the real role of feminism is today. And what I've realised is that the main battle that feminists should be fighting now is against capitalism and the impact of capitalism on women globally. I've just finished reading this book, which I highly recommend. But one area of that book that really piqued my interest was domestic labour, and just how important it is that domestic labour is not properly compensated or recognised in a functioning capitalist society. And if that sounds backwards, it's because it is. The whole capitalist model operates on the premise that there's a few people at the top that make profit off of the vast majority of people beneath them working harder for less money. People work harder than they need to, and that surplus labour is the profit for the business. So capitalism loves surplus and it loves free work. And what is some of the greatest free work that's done in our society? Childcare, child rearing, childbirth. Having children is essential to the sustenance of any society, but in capitalism, they're not just people that are continuing the next generation, they're the next generation of workers, most importantly. And reproductive labour, i.e. the work that goes into reproducing yourselves to create another generation of workers, is disproportionately undertaken by women. Obviously, you've got the physical element of like women actually being the ones to give birth and breastfeed and things like that, but you also have the fact that for a very privileged group of women like myself, you know, if we want to then contribute successfully to a capitalist society, the best thing we can do is outsource a lot of the caring labour, i.e., you know, the raising of the kids and the looking after of the kids, to another woman who is less privileged, so that we can go off and have our high-flying jobs and careers, and this other woman can look after our children for us, so that we can go and have nice lives. And then the chain continues until you get to less and less privileged women. Under a capitalist society, the best model we can be offered as women is one which shifts all of the reproductive labour off to less privileged women so that we can enter a level playing field with the men and try and compete for that top tier privileged job, economic, social security. And that's why this whole you can have it all pseudo-feminist narrative is really toxic, because it's only accessible to an extremely privileged few. Most women still will struggle to actually make it to the top in their workplaces anyway, because productive labour and reproductive labour is still inherently gendered in our society. So there's still a broken rung on the career ladder for women getting up to management level. Women still have to work a second shift at home, and all that undervalued work goes to creating the ultimate commodity, the next generation of workers.
After my divorce, I thought things would just get better. Time would heal all wounds, and after a certain amount of time, I'd just be back on track. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And I'm not saying that time doesn't help. I just wasn't doing the things I needed to do to heal and grow and move forward and actually move on from what had just happened. Because you have to grieve and heal and process emotion and figure out a plan for your next chapter. I wasn't doing any of that. So after longer than necessary, I did figure out how to put your life back together after divorce and do it in a really beautiful, big, wonderful way. This is just a reminder that if you're going through this right now, it's okay to feel the feelings and take some time. Don't forget that you've got to take the steps necessary to get to that next chapter. That's exactly what I do now. I help women start over after divorce. If you feel stuck and you need help with a plan, you can schedule a free 15-minute call with me, and we can kind of talk about where you're at and where you want to go and how I can help you get there. But no matter what, don't forget, it's gonna be okay. You got this.
All your lovely comments just made my day. And it's not to say that I want anybody else to be single for 10 years, but I had actually felt quite ashamed to admit that it had been so long. I'm wrestling because, you know, if you want to get with me, you have to come to my Saturday sourdough run. So I'm just going to make myself some toast. It's not something that I thought would endear me to date people. You know, when you say to somebody, I've been single for 10 years, surely that's a red flag. I've barely even dated. That's the other thing. The dating apps are just soul suckers. And somebody messaged me and said they're like a full-time job without the wage. And it is, when you go on those dating apps, you're just consistently giving a little part of yourself. See, this is the other reason why I'm single, because I've got a little monster down here. But it feels like you're giving a little bit of yourself every single time. Look. And every single time you're giving a little bit of yourself, and that can be very soul crushing. And I want to keep my emotional well-being intact rather than to constantly give out. You know, you're giving out your story, aren't you, when you go on these dates every single time? And I don't enjoy it. I actually don't enjoy the dating part. I kind of want to skip to the good bit, if you know what I mean. I want to get to know you really quickly, and then I just want to feel comfortable with you. So yeah, dating's a jungle, and if anybody's got any tips, give me a shout.
Celebrating Christmas when you're single can be so difficult, and I get it. I'm doing it myself. You've got no one to buy presents for, you haven't got anyone buying you presents in return, you're going to go on social media, you're going to sit and look at everyone else opening the gifts off their loved ones, and you feel quite isolated and alone. I have to sit back sometimes and just think, keep your chin up, Soph. People are in worse situations than what you're in right now. And again, I know it's difficult, but you need to focus on the positive things that you've got going in your life. If you're lucky enough to have the majority of your family sat around you at a Christmas table, there's people who haven't even got that. You know, people who they love and care about. And, you know, I'd do anything to have my grandparents back around that Christmas table. You know, if you're going through a bit of a shit time and you're feeling a bit shitty and isolated and lonely, go and sit with your grandparents or sit with your parents and give them a hug and just realise that you've got so much to be thankful for, that you don't have time to sit moping about, you know, what could have been if you were still in your relationship. And at the end of the day, sometimes not being in that relationship is probably the best thing for you. But just keep your chin up, you know, we're all there for you. And yeah, try and have a good Christmas, because, you know, you never know what's around the corner.
I can't believe it, Jesus. I can't believe it, Jesus.
I challenge you this holiday season, whether it is at a Christmas party or at a holiday dinner or gathering, do not ask these single women in your life what their status is when it comes to dating. Don't ask them how dating is going. Don't ask them if they finally found somebody. There are so many better questions that you can ask than about who they're dating or if they're dating. Ask them about their hopes and their dreams and their passions. Ask them about their career and their hobbies. Women are so much more than who we're dating.
This is a filter. The fact that this is what filters have evolved into is actually crazy to me. I grew up with the dog filter on Snapchat, and now this filter gave me lip fillers. This is what I look like in real life.
Okay, question of the day. A guy sends you $20 for lunch. Do you A, say thank you and get you some lunch? B, say, thanks babe, but this is not enough? C, send it back? Or D, send him the receipt of how much your lunch costs to see if he's going to send more? Which one would you do?
If you are single, like on the dating apps, you know, chatting around, I would love to invite you to join in on this inside joke that me and my friend have. And it really gets us through the dark times of dating. So when someone stops answering us, like they don't answer to a message on an app, or they just like don't follow up after a date, we just assume that they're dead. So if my friend were to text me and be like, oh yeah, this guy didn't answer, I wouldn't say like, oh, don't worry, he will, or like whatever, his loss. No, he's dead. I'll say, oh my God, I feel so bad for his friends and family, like gone too soon. I cannot believe that he passed away. And we will carry that out the whole time. And sometimes you find out that you thought they were dead and they were only in a coma. And then we'll talk about what a miraculous recovery they made. But usually it's like, they're dead. RIP. Just remember, there's no other reasonable explanation why they would stop answering you, because you are great, whoever you are. So,
what do you rate your looks on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm gonna ask everybody.
Like a 7.
Like a 6.3.
Why would you not rate you guys a 10? Like, we should be rating ourselves a 10.
Stop the cap.
Can I just say something before you go ahead?
Yeah.
You know why you do that?
Why
everybody rates themselves a 6 or 8 or whatever? Because they are afraid of being arrogant. And it's not arrogant to be confident, to like yourself and to like your appearance.
But okay, there's a difference between confidence and thinking that you're on par with the most beautiful women in the world.
Do you believe that the baby is your son?
No, sir.
And why don't you believe it's yours?
Because I don't have no connection with him. I don't think he looks like me.
And you say it's Sean's baby?
Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Okay, let's
But
find
you know
out.
what?
Sean, you took a DNA test before the show, and the DNA results are that you are not the father.
Told you! My life, I told you!
I would suppose this other guy that you put on the birth certificate,
He the dad.
he is the dad. Well, he happens to be here. Let's bring him out. Either way, do you feel like you want to be the father, you don't want to be the father?
No, I do not.
You don't want to be the father.
No, I do not.
Well, obviously, for some reason, you guys don't like
because you ain't did nothing, they ain't gonna never do nothing, so.
Van, you are not the father.
Have you ever asked your boyfriend, bald or bush, to him and see what he wants?
He's a real man, so he doesn't care.
It's Friday night, and the only one that I'm in bed with has a tail.
She just asked me
if one of my good friends got married and I said, no, but he's engaged, and what did you say?
I said, well, then there's still hope because I love him and I think he'd be wonderful for you. And you know who I'm talking about, you out there.
It is time to give up on dating. That is it. I'm done. I will never fit into this dating culture, ever. And here's 3 reasons why. 1, I don't multi-date. If I'm dating someone, I won't continue swiping, looking for the next best thing. You have my full attention. I'm not talking to multiple people and putting this into some form of competition. That's not my style. I can't do it. Secondly, I don't ghost. Why? Because I'm an adult and I can actually have a conversation and explain how I feel quite clearly. 3, I don't play mind games, any form of games. What you see is what you get. I won't blow hot and cold, never be in doubt with how I feel about you, and I like the same back.